Hi, I'm Kevin,
And I'm Amanda.
and we are serving up
All that jam.
All That Jam, Quick Hit. Caton Sollenberger on the Jauntee's latest.
We'll get into a little bit about some of the certain songs in a second, but Regime Music Group, were you guys with them for the last album? I mean, that was 5 years ago, so this is a new thing.
Right. Yeah, this is very new, and I'm not entirely sure. You know, they're a management company. We're also on their management team, and this is like a separate company, but kind of their like sister thing. So I'm not sure how long they've been around, but some other people on the management side of things we saw had done some albums releasing it with them. So we figured, why not give it a shot, kind of thing. I think if like the idea of like releasing something with a label has changed a lot since the heyday of labels. So basically, they were just like helping us reach out to, I don't know, Spotify people to like get on playlists and trying to just basically get our music in front of ears that we don't have the ability to get it in front of. So and I'd say it's been a success for sure. I think we have a couple more coming with them. So.
What's the writing credits look like? Do they all just say the whole band, or are there individuals?
I think that we kind of like on the album kind of say the whole band, and then you can't really like when you sign up for like BMI or ASCAP or whatever, you can't really sign up as a band. You have to be like the individual. So I'd say in general though, it's like a good portion of the song is written by Scott. Like definitely a lot of songs on this album too. He was like really churning them out. But there's a few Tyler ones, and then there's none that I wrote on, like specifically started writing on this one. There's one that John wrote, Pino. But I kind of like approach this more like from a studio perspective, almost of like, writing it in the studio, and so many of the parts that I consider like integral parts of the guitar part of the song now, or like, things that I feel like gets like you'd sing in your head kind of thing, like part of the song. So many of those were just like worked out after the song was kind of written. So it's hard to like percentage that up, but it's pretty collaborative usually. So
I love, I think my favorite is the Ishmael. I'm assuming you're tipping your hat to that whale. What's his name? Moby Dick. With
yeah,
that,
there's a book. I don't know enough about it to talk about it. But Scott, like there's either a book called Ishmael or it's a character or something like
it's
that.
a character in
a
Moby Dick.
Okay,
yes.
in Moby Dick. Okay.
Ishmael was the sailor, the captain. I don't know. Okay. I read it in high school. I struggled
right.
through it for like 9 months
because
I said I was going to read the damn book.
Right. Yeah, it was always a little too thick for me, daunting.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that one was cool. That's an interesting thing about that tune is the solo that is on the record, like kind of the bluesy part of the solo. That actually I transcribed, like, so we tried to keep as much stuff as we could from the live session, ended up really keeping none of it. Like I didn't keep a single guitar note, but I really liked the guitar solo that I improvised on that live version. It just like was a good solo. So I actually just relearned it and then played it again. Yeah. Kind of, I really wanted like the feedback. So I turned my stuff up really loud and put in some earplugs. And then I went in the closet with my amp and like, it was, getting the feedback and stuff.
Nice.
So yeah, that's a fun tune.
How many of the songs have ended up in rotation?
We played them all. We played it like, I forget if we did it in order or not. I think we did. On the album release show, we played the whole thing, and then also a couple like newer tunes. And then I don't know if we've played all of them since then. We've definitely tried to play a good bit of them. And the interesting thing that happened just as a result of writing them in the studio, there's like parts that we all want to hear, but there's only 4 of us, so right. Like we're a few songs we're still kind of like figuring out what we want to do, or like maybe even like cutting some segments, rearranging some stuff to like make it hit without the same instrumentation intensity, like still have like a high intensity live kind of thing. Right. Yeah.
So what are the hits? What are people reacting to?
I think that Ishmael is a hot one. Howlin' Hound for sure. I think the more kind of deeper Jauntee fan people are into Dark Water. I think that's one of my favorites on the record. And then I think Everything is also usually a pretty popular one, but also Everything and Ishmael, we had been playing. Those were some that we had already been playing before the record,
Okay.
so we kind of we knew that they worked, kind of thing. So
Right.
we put those on for that reason. And then, but yeah, and then The Host and The Machine. Those are Dark Water, The Host, and The Machine are all really long. I feel like they're 7 minutes plus, all of them. Machine might be 10. So those, I think, the people that are into the jammy long form stuff, those are probably the favorites for them. But
Right.
Sometimes the time is daunting for the average listener.
Hey, why Brick by Brick for the single?
That was just basically we wanted our first single. I think it was our first. I can't remember actually. We wanted a single to be one of the songs that we had never played before, basically, and that one was pretty the length wasn't too crazy, and it was kind of upbeat, that kind of stuff. All things you have to consider, apparently.
You said that you have some other new songs. Are you
We
looking
do.
toward the studio again?
We are. I think we're gonna go kind of in the same direction as we did, but hopefully we're older and wiser and faster. But we also are kind of that was an almost 80 minute album.
Uh-huh.
The most recent one, which is I guess it's just being a product of the 90s or whatever with CDs. And
Right.
I always think okay, CD's 80 minutes long, so you got to fill it up. But so many great albums are 40 minutes and under.
A lot of bands blew albums that would have been perfect in the 90s because they felt like they had to
Right.
do the whole
Right,
thing,
exactly.
you know?
Yeah, I almost I really like the album, but I was man, if there was only 8 songs on there, maybe it would be more digestible or something. I don't know. Lots of couldas. But yeah, we are thinking going back in, maybe being we also went kind of full jam band album again of just a huge swath of genres, So we're kind of thinking of maybe zeroing in on something and kind of going for a sound, a not super genre specific necessarily, but just a little more, focused, shorter, less tracks, that kind of thing. And that will definitely cut down on the time spent. So
Right. Now you have Herman's Hideaway coming up in
Yes.
December, and that's
Yes.
going to be it till the end of the year for you?
Yep, for the Jauntee, we're doing that one, and then we're doing a lot of Colorado shows in the early part of the
January
year following.
12th.
Yep,
Goat Soup and Whiskey Tavern,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
is what it said. The 12th
It
and
is.
13th.
Yeah, that place is awesome, man. Just has a vibe. So yeah, we're doing 2 nights there. I think we got Winter Park show in the mix somewhere. Hitting the towns up in the mountains if we can. And then we're also about to kind of separately from the label thing. We're about to put out another Jaunts of Our Lives, which is our live series where we kind of
Nice.
curate a set based on a bunch of shows, kind of with the flow of a set kind of thing. And I think it's probably one of the better ones that we've put out yet. There's some good jams on there and some songs that we don't play a whole lot, so they might be ones that people don't know, which is cool.
Right now these are live recordings, or they're just
Yes.
jams that you do?
They're live recordings, yeah. So they're full songs. Usually, there might be on this one a cover, and we rather than deal with the whole thing,
Cut
we
it
just
out.
cut the jam out or whatever. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure when that's coming out. I think before the Herman show, we're gonna try to put that out.
Okay. You did a show recently, right? You had a big show, didn't you?
Yep, we played up at the Fox in Boulder this past week. Yeah, it was great. But Scott, our drummer, unfortunately couldn't be there, family emergency. So we had Scotty Zwang, a different Scott drummer, come and fill in for him. So that was a lot of fun. Different, definitely, because Scott sings a lot.
Who does he play with? I recognize the name.
He played with Dopapod for a little stretch. Then he plays with the New Deal now when they play. He's got some dates with Sun Squabby coming coming up.
Nice.
And yeah, so he's like super pro, you know, kind of, I think it was like 48 hours notice or maybe a little bit more. And he learned like 4 of our tunes or 5 of our tunes. And then we figured out some covers. It was a good time. Yeah, he's super pro for sure.
Right. Now, next year, you have your eyes on any festivals? Anything you can talk about that far out? You trying to do a tour maybe on the
We'll-
East Coast maybe?
Yeah, we'll definitely try to tour. As of right now, we've got some Pacific Northwest stuff in the early part of the year lined up. And then, yeah, always on the hunt for the festies for sure. That's kind of like, especially in the summertime, it's tough to play indoor club shows when there's all these festivals that are attracting so many people on the weekends, that kind of thing. So, yeah, festivals are the move for sure.
If you are enjoying All That Jam, please like and subscribe to our social media channels at All That Jam Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our website, allthatjampod.com. Make sure to sign up for our email list and tune in every week for new episodes.
Also, look for full interviews on our YouTube channel. And remember, stay beautiful, but don't stay underground too long.